settlement. Muy buenos días, señoras y señores. En un par de minutos comenzaremos cuando las autoridades ingresen a la
Good
sala.
morning, ladies and gentlemen. We will be starting in a couple of meetings once the authorities enter the room.
Muy buenos días desde la ciudad de Oviedo.
From the city of Oviedo, Mr. Adrián Barro, Your Excellency Adrián Barro, President of the Principality of Asturias, Excellency Carlos Cuerpo, Vice President First of the Government of Spain, Minister of Economy, Trade and Businesses, Head Governor of Spain before CABEI, Your Excellency Alfredo Cantelli Fernandez, Mayor of Oviedo, Mr. Rodriguez Vives, Temporary Governor of Costa Rica, Ms. Sanchez, Mr. Guillermo Guerrero, Executive Vice President of CABEI, Mr. Héctor Javier Guzman, Secretary of CABEI, Honorable Governors of Directors and of CABEI, officers of CABEI with us, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a cordial greeting to all those of you who are with us in the direct transmission. Welcome to all of you to this inauguration ceremony of the Ordinary Board of Governors of CABEI. We meet today in a very significant moment for CABEI, an institution with more than 65 years of trajectory, with 15 member countries and consolidated as the main multilateral bank for the development of its member country, as the engine for it promotes competitiveness, social progress, and social environmental development to improve the quality of life of all its people. To begin with inauguration ceremony, we would ask you to please rise to hear the national anthem of Spain by the real band of gaitas of the city of Oviedo.
Agradecemos a la
We
Real.
thank the band of the city of Oviedo. Thank you very much. Now we invite the Secretary of CABEI, Mr. Héctor Javier Guzman, to please verify the corresponding quorum. Thank you and good morning, President. Good morning, Vice President of the Spanish government, President of the Board of Governors, Mayor, Executive President, Vice President, Governors, Directors. We will verify quorum. It is a pleasure to inform that with the participation of Mr. Jonathan Tomas Mengo, Governor of Guatemala, Minister of Public Finance of that country. I also am pleased to inform we have the presence of Mr. Gerson Rogelio Pasado, Minister of Finance and titular Governor of El Salvador, as well as Marlon Omar Ferreira, Director of Investment and Public Credit as alternate governor for Honduras. Likewise, we have Mr. Emilio Hernandez Hercules, Minister of Finance and titular governor for Rica. We have Mr. Nicolas Espinosa, Minister of the Minister of Finance and Public Credit and titular governor for Nicaragua. For Costa Rica, we have the president of the board, Mr. Jorge Vives, Minister of Culture and governor of that country. For Mexico, virtually, we will verify. Please confirm the participation of Mr. Cesar David Vives, the director of the Unit of Public Credit of Finance Affairs, who will participate virtually. If you can,
Buenos días a todas y a
please
todos.
verify. Yes,
Confirmo mi
good morning
participación.
to
Muchas gracias.
everybody. I confirm my participation. Thank you. He is joining by the Republic of China, Taiwan. Here at the conference room, we have Madame Yu Chuan, Minister of Finance and titular governor. Likewise, we have Mr. Su Xing Chan as alternate temporary governor. For Argentina, we have Mr. Martín Edgardo Toribia, international finance governor. For Colombia, Ms. Natalia Irene Molina Pozos as acting governor. Ms. Natalia.
Buenos días, confirmo mi
Yes, good
participación.
morning. I confirm my participation. Thank you. For Spain, we have Mr. Carlos Cuerpo Caballero, Vice President and Minister of Economy, Trade and Businesses, Governor for Spain. And we also have the participation of Ms. Ines Carpio Roman, General Director of International Financing, Minister of Economy, Trade and Precio, temporary governor as Mr. Jose Vicente Perez as alternate temporary governor. For Panama, we have Mr. Héctor Infante, Ambassador of Panama in Spain, acting as temporary governor. And virtually, we have the participation of Ms. Hilda Gabriela Sáenz as alternate governor. For the Dominican Republic, here in the room, Mr. Ahin Diaz, Minister of Finance and Economy, titular governor. For Belize, we have Mr. Osmond Martinez, Minister of State in the Ministry of Economic Transformation and governor for this country. For Cuba, we have here Mr. René Capote Forzate, Economic and Trade Advisor at the Embassy of Spain, who will act as temporary governor. And virtually, please confirm your participation. Ms. Juana Lilia Delgado, Minister President of the Central Bank of Cuba. Madam Governor, if you can please confirm if you are connected to the meeting. She will probably be joining us a bit later. For the Republic of Korea, we have the participation here in the room, Mr. Song-won, as the governor of this country, and hereby president of the Board of Governors. We have full quorum to begin with the 65th meeting of the Board of Governors. Thank you. Thank you. Spain and CABEI have built a sound relationship of more than 20 years based on trust, cooperation, and the shared vision of development. We invite you to see some of the most important milestones that have characterized this cooperation.
En el corazón de Centroamérica, un motor impulsa la transformación positiva de toda una región. Desde 1960, el Banco Centroamericano de Integración Económica ha sido el principal socio financiero del desarrollo, trabajando por un futuro más próspero, inclusivo y sostenible para nuestros países miembros. Con una cartera que supera los $12.000 millones y una calificación internacional AA+, El BESI es hoy el banco más sólido y un aliado estratégico para los países a los que servimos. Nuestras operaciones se enfocan en Centroamérica, Panamá, República Dominicana, México, Colombia, Argentina, Cuba y Belice. En todos ellos, impulsamos proyectos de alto impacto que promueven el crecimiento sostenible, fortalecen la integración regional y mejoran la calidad de vida de millones de personas.
Strengthen regional integration until we can see the video. Now we have the honor, first of all, the presence of Mr. Alfredo Cantelli Fernandez, the mayor of Oviedo. He is our host, and we have some remarks by Mr. Cantelli Fernandez. Your Excellency, authorities, ladies and gentlemen, good have for having Oviedo for this American Bank for Migration. It makes of a privileged point of encounter for this meeting. I can assure you that we feel very honored and thankful of having this important event. It will go beyond the financial environment for a reflection of the prosperity of our societies. Let me tell you that you have selected very well. There is no other place in Spain where this meeting will have such a significance as in Asturias. As you know, our land maintains for many centuries a stable, close, and productive relationship with Central America. There were many Asturian people that crossed the Atlantic seeking opportunities, contributing in a decisive manner to economic, social, and business development of these countries. Their entrepreneurial spirit, their will of working, and progress that has always characterized us has been throughout history a prosperity source. And these links today are still present in the form of economic business relations that continue on. This historical links make us that we have many things in common that bring us together, and I do not doubt that we have many things in common. The development of our societies is only possible when it is built on sound foundations. The Central American Bank for Economic Development represents a modern vision of progress, and economic growth has to go together with sustainability, innovation, and regional integration. It's also true that we also appreciate in this city that we're building. Our city is going through a positive moment. We have a dynamic capital, safe, with good living quality and a great capacity to attract talent, investment, and economic development. We have employment and tourism, which is the interest of many investors, and this reflects a reality. We advance with a very sound step, and Oviedo has been consolidated with a city with the best perspectives for the future. Oviedo is a city of great opportunities, and we have known how to preserve our patrimony and identity with an innovative future, and are committed with sustainability and are prepared to face the challenges of our times. But we are also aware that we cannot face these challenges in isolation. Therefore, these meetings have an extraordinary value for us, and as a mayor, I feel very satisfied. First of all, because your presence here ratifies once again the intense work that we are doing from the Ayuntamiento, and with you, we can now exchange experiences, generating alliances and reinforcing um, our links. And I am fully sure that Oviedo will be the best scenario for the dialogue, and it will be an environment to reach agreements and have ideas that will contribute to the development and well-being of millions of people. And I hope that also, besides work, you have time to visit our beautiful city and to enjoy its patrimony and gastronomy. I think that yesterday you already enjoyed it. And I just want to reiterate my thanks to CABEI for having chosen Oviedo as the site, as the venue for this important meeting. And I uh, to recognize the important historic importance and to continue strengthening the links with our city. Thank you. Thank you to the mayor. Thank you so much for receiving us in this beautiful city of Oviedo. Now we invite Ms. Gisela Sanchez, the Executive President of CABEI, for some opening remarks. Good morning, Your Excellency Arián Barbón, President of the Principality of Asturias, Your Excellency Carlos Cuerpo, First Vice President of the Government of Spain, Minister of Economy, Trade and Businesses, and Governor for Spain before CABEI, Your Excellency Alfredo Cantelli Fernandez, Mayor of Oviedo, Your Honorable Jorge Rodríguez Vivo, Governor for Costa Rica and Acting President of the Board of Governors of CABEI, Honorable ladies and gentlemen governors of CABEI, Honorable Directors of CABEI, distinguished authorities, strategic allies, media, and special guests. Dear colleagues, collaborators of the bank, ladies and gentlemen. It is for me an honor to celebrate today the 65th Board of Governors of CABEI in this beautiful city of Oviedo in the Principality of Asturias. I would like to thank the governors, directors, and their delegations for having come from their cities to honor us with their presence. And especially, I would like to express my deep thanks to the Kingdom of Spain and the first Vice President of the Government of Spain and his team for the great support that we always receive from you. I would also like to thank especially the Principality of Asturias and its President, Mr. Adrián Barbón, as well as the City of Oviedo and its Mayor, Mr. Alfredo Cantelli, with their great hospitality and warmth, have supported us to support this Board of Governors and cordially greet the delegations of the 15 countries that honor us with their presence. 2025 is the second consecutive year in this history of CABEI of reaching the best financial results of the institution. And this is not by chance. This reflects three important elements. First, a purpose and unbreakable values. Second, a very clear strategic vision that is already given fruits. And third, the relentless work of all those of us that are part of this institution. It is with great pride I will present today the most significant milestones that we have been able to achieve this last year. In governance and transparency, we have today a new anti-fraud, anti-corruption, and other forbidden practice in policy. We updated a complaint mechanism and we solved 70% more of problems of control bodies. We completed the processes to certify under compliance standards, and we have advanced in an ISO certification in business continuity. We also conducted an agreement with OECD to strengthen institutional issues, and we support member countries in the strengthening of their risk management systems, money laundering, and anti-terrorism funding through 10 national countries and 5 regional projects. Currently, we have a new policy of information access. We launched an open portal of CABEI and our webpage. In addition, supported by artificial intelligence, it has also achieved to complete a database with more than 15 years of evidence on the positive impact of our projects. In financial strengthening matters, in addition of having completed almost all the year's funding, 98% of which was issuance with ASG label, we carried out our main global sustainable issuance, and and we had a very healthy growth of our balance, and this positioned our assets at $19 billion, and we have a record profit of $268 million, and we have a level of return on equity 5.3%. In fact, above other multilateral banks in the Latin American region. We executed three agreements of exchange of exposure that, together with the last exchange with CAF, add 2.1 million and position us as a multilateral bank AAA leader of using this valuable tool. In the last 2 years, we were able to strengthen our capital adequacy indices, our RAC going from 15.2% in 2023 to 28.2% at the closing of 2025. And we have reduced our expenses in almost 20% since my arrival, compared to 82% in the last 5-year period. These results have allowed us to reach 5 improvements of credit rating in recent months, including 2 improvements up to AA plus from S&P and credit rating. But the most important is that these ratings have allowed us to transfer these benefits to the countries in the most appropriate way possible by reducing the rates of our loans in a total accrued of 95 basic points, with a saving of more than $60 million, $69 million in 2 years. This, governors, is our best way of being accountable. In operational excellency matters, we strengthened our procurement system with the support of UNDP. We reopened our office in the Republic of China, Taiwan, with a saving in the rent of more than 90%, and we have advanced with very firm steps in the liquidation of extraordinary assets that generate additional expenses to our institution. In addition, we have taken very compelling steps in digital transformation based in artificial intelligence and have become a bank of knowledge for the countries we serve. We have an evaluation model for impact and carried out an procurement reform for finance institutions, and have a program for support for implementing unit. In terms of taking care of our talent, we updated our regulation framework and have a new performance evaluation model, and work relentlessly to take care of our collaborators. In terms of sustainability, we now have new strategies, both sustainability and gender equality. Let's remember that in 2024, we eradicated the salary gap between men and women, making history in multilateral banks. And now we have become a bank that compensates 20% more than the carbon emissions and generators. Regarding our reason of being, that is funding great works that are transforming our works positively. In 2025, we approved a total of 20 operations that are equal to an investment of $2.5 billion. In these few months of 2026, we have a historic pace of practically the total of 2025 to promote strategic investments in the public and private sector. These are not only huge amounts of investment, but they will translate in more than 7,400 kilometers of roads, an additional capacity of 55 million of cubic meters of water and sanitation, supporting energetic generation with almost 2,400 megawatts of generation, and supporting the regional energy exchange, and all these investments translated in greater social well-being for our member countries. We project generation of more than 54,000 employment jobs, thanks to this, transforming the lives of more than 34.5 million people. In addition, in 2025, we were able to have the greatest organic diversification in a natural manner of our portfolio of 27% at the closing of 2025. We came from 19%, almost 10 percentage points in 2023. One of the greatest or more significant achievements in 2025 was the design of our new plan to serve the private sector with a selective approach of regional impact, mobilizing investment towards member countries, of driving value changes, financial inclusion, and especially funding of micro and small enterprises. Another significant advance of the bank was working in an initiative portfolio that aims at the heart of our mission, economic integration. We approved the second CEPAC circuit and designed a plan for 2029 of regional initiatives that are very concrete that we will share with you today, and which include key works of the logistic mobility regional plan, intelligent cities inspired in the model of the Republic of Korea and the Republic of China, Taiwan, and projects related with protection of water resources, biodiversity, and innovative solutions for climate change. All these achievements and advances that I have shared with you are very important and fill us with pride, but these are not enough. As we are all seeing, the world has gone into a transformation of historical magnitudes, a real turning point for humanity. Geopolitical conflicts and disruptions of the global value change, new international trade rules, technology changes that are transforming our ways of living, of making businesses. And in addition, I got lost. Sorry, I reached transforming our way of living at a pace without preceding, and in addition, climate and social challenges without precedent. And I want to convey a very special solidarity message to the people of Venezuela for the tragedy they are living and to offer our support in everything we can. But these turning points are not only moments of great uncertainty, these are also decision points. It's these instances where societies define what they want to achieve, what values guide them, and what legacy they want to leave to future generations. The decisions we make in future years, and I dare to say today, will define not only the direction of our economies, but also the quality of life for future generations. In this context, we see the need of building a shared vision that is long term and will allow us to align priorities and transform opportunities in concrete results. That is why we will promote in future months the with the co-leadership of our governors and directors, the construction of a 2040 vision, a strategic roadmap to identify where we want to be as a region in the next 15 years and what actions we need to undertake starting today to reach that future. This vision will not be a theoretical exercise, but a process of strategic planning aimed at generating consensus on the great economic, social, and environmental development of our region. Economies that have achieved in less than 3 decades to become developed countries, and two of them are our member countries, have two common elements. First, the desire their people have to work hard to prosper, and second, a clear long-term vision and a plan to make it a reality. The construction of the 2040 vision will be a collective effort led obviously by the governments of the member countries of CABEI that will call upon the private sector, other development institutions, academia, and social society and civil society. Only on this view for the future will we reach the necessary agreements to achieve great scale transformation. From this shared vision, we will work in identifying, structuring a robust project strategic portfolio, both national and regional. Ladies and gentlemen, We find ourselves in a historic crossing, and we have to take advantage of the special place our countries occupy in the global scenario. Our region has more than 10% of the globe's biodiversity, an incomparable cultural richness, wealth, a young and resilient population, and a huge potential to lead transformation, the transformation that this moment and the 21st century demands. The question is not if the change will come, but it's if we will have the courage, the vision, and the necessary unit to make of this moment a historical opportunity. Because the big chapters of history are not written by those who wait, and that we do not have certitude, but those who decide to exercise their leadership and take their place in the history of nations. Time has come to strengthen CABEI, to be the arm and to build a vision for 2040 and to set the foundations of a transformation that is positive and accelerated. As a proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 15 years, but the best second time to do it is now. Thank you. Thank you very much to the President. We invite now Mr. Jorge Rodriguez, the President of the Board of Governors of CABEI.
Excelentísimo señor Adrián Barbón.
Good morning, Your Excellency Adrián Barbón, President of the Principality of Asturias, Mr. Carlos Cuerpo, First Vice President of the Governor of Spain, Minister of Economy, Trade, and Business, titular Governor for Spain before CABEI, Mr. Excellency Alfredo Cantelli, Mayor of Oviedo, Jorge Rodriguez, President, Vice President, Governors, Directors of CABEI, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Governor of Costa Rica, we would like, first of all, to express our solidarity with Venezuela, and namely with the families that have migrated from our countries, because all of us who are here have received Venezuelan people that are living in uncertainty and wish to hear from their family. Let's hope that among the agreements that we can take today, we instruct the bank's administration to activate a mechanism of humanitarian assistance. It is for me an honor to chair this Board of Governors of CABEI. This is a very important space of dialogue and decision-making. We meet in a significant time for the bank. The institution comes to this board backed up by concrete outcomes, a sound position, and the backup of a AA rating, elements that obviously reflect the relevance and the confidence the bank has from its member countries and capital markets. For more than 6 decades, CABEI has been a key ally by promoting strategic policies for economic growth, environmental sustainability, and the well-being of millions of people. Our history demonstrates the capacity to adapt to the challenges that each time has brought without losing the horizon we share as people. The Central American Bank is before all an expression of the will of cooperation of its 15 member countries. The capacity it has of building agreements and generating consensus has been one of the pillars that has allowed us to increase our scope and to become a bank of global reference. We need commitment of those who this institution, the professionalism and the devotion of the administration and the bank's collaborators that make the day-to-day and the vision we share. Thank you for implementing the vision of development that we all drive together. Allow me to stop in a dimension that frequently is left at the side of our agencies, but is the foundation of integration and development, and that is precisely culture. Central America is not sustained only by financial indicators or infrastructure works, but also by the conviction that we are a community with a destination, with a memory, and with a shared sensitivity. To invest in culture, art, and art is investing in one of the most perdurable or lasting ways of integration. When our artists create together in dialogue and they go beyond borders, we strengthen a capital that no financial indicator can measure on its own. It's precisely the feeling of belonging to a same community. It's betting on dimensions of being able to strengthen the Central American brand as a region and to showing the world a plural and creative capacity, which is also creative and can show the prestige of its land. And here we have to continue working to continue strengthening the soul of the region. From this land that receives us, I want to remember a universal Asturian, Ángel González, the Prince of Asturias of the letters, who wrote that for him to be him, it was necessary to have a long space, a long time, a man of sea and of land, and more bodies merging in a new body. I close quotes. This is, at the end, the matter that makes up integration. Many hands, many voices, many people that when they come together, they create a new one. The international environment sets new challenges, but it also brings many opportunities. That is why it is key for CABEI to continue evolving, incorporating the best international practices and consolidating a region that can respond efficient and effectively to the demands that are an increasingly demanding environment, preserving its relevance and its capacity of serving its member countries. It is urgent that the bank can respond to the impact of its work, not just in numbers that are important, but in the lives that it impacts and that it can change the actions of this institution. As governors, we share the responsibility of overseeing the future of this institution that has been fundamental for our country. Our commitment is to make sure that the bank will continue preparing for the future challenges, preserving its soundness, credibility, and capability to respond, and that will distinguish it, but namely that are timely and not so bureaucratic. I trust that this Board of Governors will contribute to define the direction of the bank in historic times and will reaffirm our commitment with an increasingly sound, relevant, and prepared institution. I thank the Principality of Asturias and the Mayorship of Asturias for receiving us, and namely for the hospitality with which they received us to hold this Board of Governors. On behalf of the government of Costa Rica and the President, Laura Fernandez, our thanks thanks to you. I hope we have a very productive day, a successful Board of Governors marked by a constructive dialogue, shared responsibility, and the decisions that will contribute to the strengthening of our bank and to the well-being of our people. Thank you. Thank you very much to the Governor and President of the Board of Governors. Now we invite Mr. Carlos Cuerpo, First Vice President of the Governor of Spain, Minister of Economy, Trade and Business, and titular government for Spain. Thank you very much. Executive President of the Principality of Asturias, first governors, directors, mayor. Allow me first to make mine the words of the president of the Board of Governors and to express my solidarity to the people of Venezuela for this terrible tragedy and expressing our our responsibility of making our most to help or in our possibility those in need. I wanted, of course, to welcome you. I did it already yesterday to our country, to this extraordinary region, to hold this extraordinary meeting of CABEI. That for the first time is held in CABEI. It's ordinary that we held in 2005, but it is a milestone for us because it reflects, or that's what we want, that it reflects the soundness of the relation that between our country and the bank. Spain became a full rights member more than 20 years ago, and in that year with an extraordinary meeting was held in our capital city, Madrid, with the participation of one of my predecessors, Pedro Solves, that at that time was the vice president and minister of finance and was the titular governor for Spain before CABEI. Minister Solves was a very important figure in the integration process in Europe and then expressed its conviction that CABEI was an engine for the Central American integration and therefore a key factor for the economic, social development and for integration in the region, and he was not wrong. And this same spirit that has characterized the bank since its beginning is now driving the development of the region and is alive more than ever. The integration spirit is even more important. We are fully aware in our current context, in a decisive time in the international environment, we do not only face a double transition that we have been talking about for many years, the ecological transformation, the digital transformation with the introduction of AI, but also the change in the geopolitical scenario, which is changing the chessboard on which we will now move. And I agree with the president of the assembly. These are opportunities to build more competitive economies, more inclusive, more integrative economies, and therefore fairer economies. Integration is demonstrating that this process is possible when there is a shared vision. And therefore, that is Central America. And some figures that evidence this. In fact, this is one of the most dynamic zones in terms of growth, with a pace above the average in Latin America, 3.6% in average, and that is the figure expected by the IMF, a region that is consolidating its advance also in integration, specifically in the drive as well, and with key tools to continue taking sound steps in the consolidation of a domestic market trend, promoting internal market and parallel to what we are doing in the European Union. These advances have been the result of a joint effort, private sector, citizens, government, institutions, among which I'd like to highlight CABEI, Central American Bank for Economic Integration, that has been working to promote well-being and the development of the region for more than 60 years. Since its creation, one of the main factors has been its funding of projects promoting competitiveness and integration at the regional level, therefore promoting more and better opportunities for millions of citizens. And I have to reflect my satisfaction, and I expressed this yesterday, and this is already increasing the impact capacity of change and its capacity of generating change and modernization in the region. I'd like to highlight some elements. First, the volume, the growth of the portfolio and its diversification, specifically the greater weight the private sector is acquiring as the main axis and in promoting development. We have seen growth of operations in 15% in this last year in 2025 compared to 2024, and a participation of the private sector that has grown from 15 to 20%. And I think this is an element to be satisfied regarding growth, but also in terms of diversification. As the president said, I think it's not a casualty. The bank has gained trust from the market and relevant agents such as rating agencies, and the positive AA's undoubtedly is a sample of this. Financial indicators that are demonstrating the improvement in recent years with expenses in the administration sphere that continue diminishing. This is a bank that has also been able to understand with its peer in Latin America and the other multilateral development banks, with the CAF, with the Caribbean Development Bank and others. And of course, this means improvement on financial conditions for the bank and therefore for all the projects it develops. And here, evidently, I believe that we should all point out the importance of the figure of the president, my dear Gisela. This is work that now we are noting and is translating into a stronger institution that can mobilize more resources for the beneficiary countries and to be more prepared for the challenges and to make of these opportunities. And this is the road on which we have to continue working or advancing together. And that's why I'm so pleased that we can hold this Board of Governors here in Oviedo. And I'd like to close with a message that for us is very important, and that is to reinforce the multilateral soul in everything we do, the importance of institutions such as CABEI, to continue reinforcing a more international framework based on rules and not in the law of the strongest. Today, these days, it's a year of the fourth year for development that we celebrated in Spain, in Sevilla. And next week, we will be celebrating in Madrid the inauguration of a new series of the UN for tourism. And also, we will be holding the opening of an office of the World Bank in Madrid. That is a clear bet for Spain, again, due to the presence and the strength of the multilateral framework. We continue with this huge commitment, fully convinced that it's the best architecture at the financial and international level to respond to challenges that none of us can respond in solitary, and therefore we require sound institutions that are committed. And these type of institutions as today allow us and demonstrate that we all advance together. So I wish you a very successful meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice President. To conclude with this inaugural act, we have the participation of Adrián Bambo, President of the Principality of Asturias. Thank you. Vice President of the Government of Spain, Executive President of the Central American Bank of Economic Integration, and Executive Vice President, President of the Assembly of Governors, Government of Spain Council, and Vice President of the Principality of Asturias, governors, and other members of all the parties, of all the parts of the world. I welcome you to this iconic space that's the Hotel of the Reconquista, in which every year receives those of the prizes called Princesa de Asturias, Asturias Princess. And therefore, here's where we come for the prize that is recognized as the most important one and is granted at the level of Spain is in these rooms that today you are participating in, you're having this meeting. It's an honor that you've elected Oviedo and therefore Asturias to celebrate the annual meeting of the Central American Bank for Economic Integration. And also we were also looking, and it caught our attention, the 66th assembly in the year that is a 16th of foundation and constitution of the bank in a 6 month and in a year that ends in six too. So there you have it. And the part that I have is I tell you, and please enjoy a small local detail. Oviedo, as the mayor well knows, as all the parties, has a big day. And here we have a highlighting day, which is the Day of the Americas, where several hours the streets are full of people to enjoy uh, people dancing, and that celebration was given in last century in Asturias to remember of the thousands of people that had to leave our nation, our community, seeking for opportunities. Asturias was the land, and their countries, your countries that today are representing, were some of the main destinations, all of them. I want you to feel here at home. And I want to add also to the express the public feeling of support and comprehension of what has happened in Venezuela. We are with them. Asturias has offered evidently to participate in the through the government of Spain. We could channel in response, and logically I want to transfer a message of solidarity to all the persons affected, especially to the enormous colony of Asturians that live in Venezuela, and also to the colony women and men that are Asturians that from Venezuela that live here. And this meeting that you do today represent factors very important: cooperation, respect, in effort to be sincere. It's true that in the world sometimes it's not passing through the best moments. We have exposures of unilateral and also the international problems. There are a lot of examples, but today Asturias is a reference of international cooperation, and for us we are very proud of it because it's something that we have to strengthen the understanding and mutual understanding. And also I can ensure that you can always count with Asturias. This assembly doesn't offer us only the opportunity to provide that good reception, but also start a conversation, a global conversation or sustainability, investment, and development, a conversation that puts Asturias in the atlas of the international dialogue, and a very important dialogue. If we talk about the migration, the return of given to taxes, some of the institutions, that object has to be of critics and preoccupations. But I want to share reflections, certain brief reflections with you all, moreover than just congratulating Gisela Sanchez, the executive president, magnificent management that everyone is putting on the table of what you're doing with the bank. I want to talk from the geopolitical situation, the transition, energy transition, and also of the fields of technological transformation. The three challenges are inevitable. The three at the same time are very important, and all of them have a common thing: uncertainty right now in the international relationship, because we come from a system that comes from the Second World War that simply is going through the air. So the unilateral character of certain decisions go in that line. That is why we recomposing and strengthening the values of multilaterals is very important. Transition, energy transition, we have double challenge and evidence of the prices of the oils and the climate change. There are states that are not in conditions to bet on green energy without putting at risk its growth, and that is why we have to take it into account at the moment of acting. And in the cybernetic, it's not only a career between a contest or between countries, but also similar influences and superior even to the great powers of the world. Believe me, I'm not apocalyptic. I understand by nature the optimistic thinking of the nation. I also sustain that in this work together, it's not just an option, it's the indispensable condition. And this is the aim of the Central American Bank. It's a contributing with experiences, defining priorities, and also giving concrete solutions, also generation of employment and improving the quality of life. And in this context, taking all the sense, the recent words of the Pope Leon XIV in Spain, none of the nations and none of your international orders can consider just and humane if it measures its success only for the power or prosperity. That is, that human dimension always has to be first. This assembly is celebrating a crucial time. The countries that form part, the governors that represent the states, it's important to meet, but especially to listen to each other because the plurality of the world cannot be reduced to a group of voices that dominate. The comprehension of the Spanish situation cannot be confused exclusively for the Madrid politics that happens within the M30. Therefore, in the global area, it is important to hear much more voices than sometimes we take into account. Hopefully, the voice of the Central American Economic Integration Bank is important also in Oviedo. And before leaving you to work, this year I led the economic mission to Mexico. It was a work that allowed me to feel the unbearable of immigration. Our chief of state yesterday, Rey Felipe VI, the King Felipe VI, has met with of having bridges, dialogue, consensus, and not of breaking relationships. So evidently the paper or the role of the government of Spain is very important. But I was telling you in that trip to Mexico, I highlighted that Asturias is a bridge between America and Europe. It's like this presence here. It's a new proof that because of logistical and geographical matters converts Asturias in a very important taken into account because again, I repeat, this is your house. So have a good assembly. And I want to highlight with several months ahead to the big parties of Oviedo. Oviedo is celebrating a very special Day of Americas in Asturias. Let's celebrate as we deserve. So have a good assembly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your words, Mr. President of the Principality of Asturias. Now we go with that video that reflects the most memorable milestone of more than 2 decades of relations between Spain and CABEI.
En el corazón de Centroamérica, un motor impulsa la transformación positiva de toda una región. Desde 1960, el Banco Centroamericano de Integración Económica ha sido el principal socio financiero del desarrollo, trabajando por un futuro más próspero, inclusivo y sostenible para nuestros países miembros. Con una cartera que supera los $12.000 millones y una calificación internacional AA+, el BESI es hoy el banco más sólido y un aliado estratégico para los países a los que servimos. Nuestras operaciones se enfocan en Centroamérica, Panamá, República Dominicana, México, Colombia, Argentina, Cuba y Belice. En todos ellos, impulsamos proyectos de alto impacto que promueven el crecimiento sostenible, fortalecen la integración regional y mejoran la calidad de vida de millones de personas. En este camino, España se ha consolidado como un socio estratégico desde 2005. Su participación en el patrimonio del banco y más de $700 millones en contratos adjudicados reflejan 2 décadas de cooperación efectiva, como el financiamiento del programa de conversión de deuda en Honduras, con 23 proyectos que ha beneficiado a más de 1 millón de hondureños. Proyectos como los de infraestructura vial en Costa Rica son claros ejemplos del impacto positivo de nuestra cooperación. En Nicaragua, las inversiones han mejorado el acceso al agua potable en 7 ciudades, además de la construcción y equipamiento del Hospital de Chinandega y la construcción de la central hidroeléctrica La Reinaga. En El Salvador, la ampliación de la carretera al Puerto de la Libertad, la construcción de los puentes de Anguiatú y La Paz, así como la instalación de 10 plantas fotovoltaicas, ha sido vital para el crecimiento económico. El proyecto Corredor de las Playas en Panamá reafirma nuestro compromiso con la sostenibilidad, mientras que el financiamiento a MIPYMES en toda la región ha fortalecido el tejido económico y social, promoviendo el emprendimiento y la generación de empleo. También hemos fortalecido nuestra relación con la Unión Europea como parte de la iniciativa Global Gateway y el Banco Europeo de Inversiones. Proyectos como la recuperación del lago Yocoa en Honduras, la gestión integral de residuos sólidos del río Motagua, el tren eléctrico y el teleférico de Costa Rica son ejemplos del impacto que podemos generar. España, a través de su tecnología, estándares de calidad y compromiso ambiental, es un socio esencial para el desarrollo de los países a los que servimos, fortaleciendo sus capacidades para avanzar en una ruta más verde, innovadora y competitiva. El BESIE continuará enfocándose en la transparencia, el impacto positivo, finanzas de alto impacto y la excelencia operativa. Con España como socio estratégico, construiremos una región más próspera y equitativa, creando oportunidades para elevar la calidad de vida de todos. BESIE, motor de la transformación positiva.
Por muchos más años de esta...
For many more years, this fructose and beneficial relationship, strategic relationship with Spain. We're going to invite again to come here the real band of Gaitas, city of Oviedo.
Les invitamos, por favor,
We invite you, please, to please stand up to hear the hymn of Principality of Asturias, dear nation.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. We thank the great band of Gaitas, city of Oviedo. Thank you for accompanying us in this inaugural act. In this moment, we are going to proceed to the election of the new president of the Assembly of Governors of CABEI. And for this, I'm going to give the floor to the current president of the Assembly, Mr. Governor for Costa Rica. Hello, good morning again. And well, first, in the name of Costa Rica, I want to thank you all for the opportunity you've given us to be able to preside during this last year. And with no more, then we will hear for proposals from all of you for who's going to be elected for this new period. Honduras has the floor. Good morning to everyone, and thank you, the main desk and table, and we've all thank you for your words, Mr. President, and your governors and your directors, and also other members that accompany today, and all special, and have a good day. And name of the Republic of Honduras, I have the honor of nominating Carlos Cuerpo, first Vice President of the government and also Minister of Economy, Commerce, and Companies. to be able to preside this 66th Assembly of Governors of the Central American Economic Integration Bank. Minister Cuerpo has the leadership qualities, capacity of dialogue, and its commitment with the international cooperation that this assembly requires. Its trajectory in the economic and financial area also, as well as the backup that Spain has provided to the Central American Bank, has demonstrated that it has all the qualities and competencies to be able to preside this assembly. So we are convinced that under his conduction and the works of this assembly will be developed with efficiency and spirit of consensus, vision, strategic vision, and contributing with the success of all the deliberations we have in this day. For this reason, Honduras has the honor to present and back up the nomination of the Minister Carlos Cuerpo to preside this 66th Assembly of Governors. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Emilio. Guatemala, El Salvador. Good morning to everyone, dear members of the honor table. And firstly, I want to thank for the welcome that you have given us in this Assembly of Governors. And in the name of El Salvador and as my role as governor before CABEI, we also have the proposal for the Honduras governor to elect the Minister of Economy, Carlos Cuerpo, as president of the Assembly of Governors. Thank you, Gerson. By not having more requests of the word, Mr. Secretary, I ask to proceed for the voting. Yes, Mr. President, if you'd like here in the room, and well, since we have the participation with the governor for Nicaragua, which we welcome, and also the governor for Mexico, Cesar David, also is connected virtually. He had technical problems to be able to confirm his participation, and we can proceed for the voting. If you are to abbreviate it in the room, we could have a voting for acclamation, just raising your hand, those that are here in the room. So if you can please raise your hand, those that are in agreement. Thank you. I'll take note. And those that accompany virtually, I do need you to pronounce, starting with the governor for Mexico, Jose David Vives, your vote, governor.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. I would like to confirm if you hear me. Yes.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. President and Governors. Mexico is in favor of the election of the first Vice President of the government of Spain economy and as the President of this Assembly. Thank you, Governor. Also, we request the vote of Natalia, Governor for Colombia.
Parece ser que tenemos problemas técnicos.
It seems that we have technical problems, but well, the rest of the governors had pronounced. So the Assembly of Governors, by unanimity of votes, resolves to elect the President of Assembly of Governors of CABEI to the titular governor for Spain, Mr. Carlos Cuerpo Caballero.
Quien ejercerá sus funciones
develop his functions starting from this date until the celebration of the next ordinary meeting of the Assembly. Thank you. Mr. Carlos, a lot of success for you, and this chair is yours.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Well, thank you very much. And the truth is that it's a pleasure, it's an honor. I want to thank you, of course, to the presidency, to the governor for Honduras, of course, for the El Salvador, for the nomination, and also the rest of my peers for the approval of this nomination. It's an honor for me, it's an honor for Spain to be able to be here leading the Assembly of Governors and we will do it, of course, with all the responsibility and all the commitment that that leads to with the bank and for their members. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. And so having completing this important point of the agenda that has been elected the governor for Spain to perform this important function, we're going to proceed then to develop the pictures, the official pictures of this 66th ordinary meeting of the Assembly of Governors of CABEI. I'm going to request then attentively to the authorities that integrate the main table, delegate of the government in the Principality of Asturias and the Vice President of the General Board of the Principality of Asturias to please go out of the room so that they will accompany to go to the back part, the yard. We request at the same time attentively to the governors, to all the governors and directors of the bank, to the titulars of the dependencies, the back patio. And the rest, if you could please remain sitting down. We also thank the press that has accompanied us in this inaugural act, and we also ask you to please leave as you can accompany while we take the pictures. And with this, we conclude this inaugural act of the 66th ordinary meeting of the Board of Governors of CABEI. Thank you very much to everyone that has followed us through the transmission, live transmission, and be attentive to the institutional channels to be able to know the main results of this assembly. We will come back here to have that session, that work session, after 10 minutes of pause. We will see you soon. Thank you very much.